What does it take to flip a city that hasn't elected a Democrat in almost 30 years? And how did a 61-year-old former engineer, Peace Corps director, and county commissioner beat a Trump-backed candidate by nearly 19 points in a race that was supposed to be close? Today, we explain the historic rise of Miami's new mayor-elect Eileen Higgins, and what her win means for Miami, Florida, and the 2026 midterms. Miami is undergoing a political shift. For nearly 3 decades, Republicans controlled the mayor's office. That streak is now over. Eileen Higgins, a Democrat, has defeated GOP-backed Emilio Gonzalez with 59% of the vote. Gonzalez finished with nearly 41%, according to preliminary county results. The margin, almost 19 percentage points, was unusually decisive for a city known for tight contests. Voter turnout stayed modest at about 21.3%, but more than 37,000 ballots were cast in a race that started with 13 candidates before narrowing to its final 2. Technically, the Miami mayor's race is nonpartisan, but this contest carried unmistakable political weight. Gonzalez had endorsements from major Republicans, including President Donald Trump and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. Democrats nationwide viewed the race as a rare opening to regain relevance in a city that has drifted right for years. High-profile Democrats such as Pete Buttigieg, Senator Ruben Gallego, and Rahm Emanuel personally campaigned in Miami during the final stretch. Celebrating with supporters, Higgins said voters had chosen competence over chaos, results over excuses, and a city government that works for you. She called her win both a celebration and a promise, warning that Miami faces substantial challenges ahead. She also praised Emilio Gonzalez, calling him a good man who cares about the community. Miami's mayor is sometimes described as ceremonial, because Miami-Dade County handles many core policy areas. But the symbolic and public significance of being mayor of a global gateway city, one central to trade, culture, and Latin America, is enormous. Higgins now becomes a prominent figure in both local governance and the national Democratic strategy heading into the 2026 midterms. Immigration was a major theme. Higgins criticized federal enforcement approaches she said were creating fear in communities with deep ties to Latin America. She argued that rhetoric against immigrants had become dehumanizing and cruel. Miami's identity is shaped by Cuban, Venezuelan, Nicaraguan, and other diasporas, making national immigration debates intensely local. This contrast positioned her squarely against Trump-aligned Republicans who support strict enforcement. Republican leaders are now re-evaluating their hold on Hispanic voters. Representative Maria Elvira Salazar cautioned her party, saying, "Hispanics married President Trump, but they are only dating the GOP." Higgins emphasized affordability, infrastructure pressure, and frustration with bureaucratic delays. She pledged to use municipal land for new housing for working families and modernize city processes. She promised faster permits, stronger cooperation with police, and more community involvement in public safety. Environmental protection was also central. Miami faces recurring flooding and rising sea level threats. Higgins promised to protect Biscayne Bay, improve drainage with permeable pavements, and expand the city commission from 5 to 9 members to increase representation. Higgins was born in Dayton, Ohio, and raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico. She studied mechanical engineering at the University of New Mexico and later earned an MBA from Cornell. She worked across Latin America on development and infrastructure projects. In 2006, she became Peace Corps Country Director in Belize. She later served as a U.S. Foreign Service officer, working on Mexico-related assignments and economic development in South Africa. After returning to the U.S., she entered the private sector with companies like Pfizer and Jose Cuervo. She moved to Miami in the early 2000s and became active in civic networks. Her first major win came in 2018 when she won a special election to the Miami-Dade County Commission. She focused on core urban issues: housing, transit, environmental resilience, and neighborhood improvements. She helped shape the Better Bus Network, supported Metrorail and trolley expansions, and secured resources for community landmarks, including the Bay of Pigs Brigade 2506 Museum. She briefly entered the 2022 congressional race, but withdrew to avoid competing against fellow Democrat Annette Taddeo. She won re-election in 2022 and again in 2024 unopposed. To run for mayor, she resigned her commission seat in November 2025 under Florida's Resign to Run law. Higgins says her administration will center inclusivity and accountability. She wants Miami to be a place where seniors can stay, younger people can build a future, and immigrants feel welcome and respected. She argues Miami's affordability crisis requires structural reforms in development, resource management, and oversight. Even with the county controlling many major policy areas, the Miami mayor's voice carries national influence. Analysts say her win boosts Democratic momentum heading into 2026, especially after recent party gains in other states. As Democratic gubernatorial candidate David Jolly put it, "Change is here. It's sweeping the nation, and it's sweeping Florida." Eileen Higgins' win is more than a local upset. It's a reshaping of Miami's political landscape, a warning shot to Republicans, and a strategic lift for Democrats heading into the midterms. The real test begins now, as Miami watches whether its new mayor can deliver the change she promised.